I'm sorry. I was just trying to bring it up a little bit because I ain't that short. I'm better. I'm better now. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Oh, you are recording? Oh, okay. I'm gonna drink while you talk. So, one of my fans. What I who? Never mind. I'm glad you edited this motherfucker. So, she's absolutely not the same person on stage she is off stage. Um, like I'm actually like an outgoing introvert. So I know that sounds weird, but like I don't like to talk to people off stage. I don't like I get anxiety like a motherfucker, but no, I like to, it's almost like a selfish good deed because I like making people laugh. I like making people like distracted of what they're dealing with in life. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I am completely fun and like just honest on stage. Um, and who I am off stage, I'm really like to myself. I'm like a loner, but ain't that like weird? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like a little bit, because like I will literally talk to somebody on stage, like full blown conversation back and forth, then get off stage and they was like, "So what you said you was single and you was looking?" I'm like, no, I was lying when I said I wanted to take somebody's son home. Like all of that was a facade. Sorry, you bought that ticket. But yeah, I'm really like a people person or whatever to a point. I got boundaries and I learned that. So I am from Cleveland. I was raised in what part of Cleveland? That matters. Fuck you. I was raised in Warrensville. We moved to Warrensville when I was 2 from Barlett or whatever. Um, Two parent household. My mom and my dad was together until my dad passed away at 17. Being raised in Warrensville, it's like literally having like a best of both worlds because right on the other side of Gladstone was Cleveland, Glendale, Joanne Park, and you had Shaker this way, Maple that way, all that other good stuff or whatever. Um, and with my mom being as young as a 15, she was raised on 30th and Central. My dad was born St. Louis, raised in New Orleans. So I had a little taste of everything when it came like to growing up. Um, my mom was a PK. Both my grandparents was preachers. My dad was country boy, military, like so we had a lot of fun in my house. Like every time you put it in the driveway, we was playing music. My dad would barbecue like every weekend. Our house was always full of people. But I was the type of whatever who always like to sit around the adults and just pick up on like them little gems because my parents was like 33. My mom was 33 and she had me. My dad was 40. So I have an older like soul, whatever. So um and I'm the youngest of 4 girls. Two by same mom, same dad, and two from my dad. But I was raised with just my other sibling or whatever. It wasn't until like I got older that I got a chance to be around my sisters and stuff like that. And like growing up was fun. Like, but I also we had some hard shit going on. My dad went through a rough patch or whatever. He was forced into retirement. Um, so it went from asking for $1 and getting 10 to like I actually need this for school and I can't get it. So, but definitely, definitely a good childhood. I wouldn't change nothing about it. So growing up, me and my sister and my cousins will always put on shows. Like as soon as we got like our first like little, big VCR style camcorder or whatever, we would always put on shows. we would just like do all type of different stuff, whatever. And it was like one thing, me and my cousin on my mom's side, they was in Canton, and so we would switch off summers to where we would do half and half. So we would spend half the summer in Canton. They would come up half the summer in Cleveland. And I just remember being down in Canton and my cousins being like hilarious, like hilarious. And I would sit down and be like, make me laugh time, make me laugh time. And so they would do jokes or whatever. Then they had me go up and do jokes or whatever. So we was doing like little comedy shows at a very, very, very young age. Um, and my dad, he was a goofy dude. Like when I say goofy, goofy, he played around with us like he was one of us. You know, he would chase us around the house, and he would use his pack of Salem cigarettes like a throwing star, like a ninja, because he was in a kung fu and shit like that, and hit us in the back of the head like as we was running away, like for real. Like we was like, I'm telling you, the house was crazy. Growing up, and I just remember one time I was 17, 16 or 17, and we was all in the living room, and I remember my mom had set us down or whatever. It was like, put on a show, put on a show. And so that's when I had did my first home show or whatever. But my first technical comedy show in front of an audience on a mic was at summer camp for basketball. So I went to summer camp at Slippery Rock University in PA. And they had a talent show at the end of the camp or whatever. And so I was like, I want to do some jokes. So the camp counselors let me do some jokes. They said, look, you in front of kids. We got kids of all ages. Like, keep it, you know. And so we had other camps there outside of basketball. So you had band, you had cheerleading, and stuff like that, whatever. And it was shortly after 9/11, right? So it was these Arabic kids that was there. And I remember saying, okay, so we got basketball camp, we got band camp, we got cheerleading camp, and bomb camp. And they they died laughing. Listen, I think I was like 16 or 17. Yeah. And like, I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you, like, I literally did, for my first time ever as a adolescent, I literally did 15 minutes. Like, I had them going so hard, like laughing. So I'm talking about everyone, grown adults cracking up at 17. And so when I sat down in front of my mom, she actually right then and there had called improv to see how I get into amateur night, how old I had to be, what I had to do, this and that, whatever. But it wasn't until I was 28. My mom had just had a heart attack, and it was like, I gotta do this before, she gotta see me do this before you know what I'm saying, anything happened. And she was at 90% of my shows when I first started comedy, before she got, you know, sick and everything like that. And I'm telling you, she front row recording, laughing. I'm talking about some obscene shit, like real shit. Like, I remember when I was 17, I had snuck a boy in the house, and I didn't know she was there. So, real life shit. I got caught, and she didn't say stop, cease and desist. I can't believe you disrespecting my house like that. Nothing. She asked me if I needed help. She said, it sounded like you distressed up there. So, yeah. So when I tell that joke on stage, people like ask me off stage, like, did that really happen? I said, yes, absolutely. And she right there to vouch that she said that shit. So, that was the 2000s. Don't make me a young hoe. So, yeah, like, it's I elaborate some of my jokes, but some of that shit really happened. Listen, it is like, it's addictive. It's an energy. It's like pushing a boulder up a mountain, and when you get to the top, and it's just like you can't even get in front of it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as a comic, getting ready for a show, um, you nervous as hell. I 7 years in, I'm still nervous every show. Still. So I have me a little drink, go over my jokes or whatever. And I get up there and I kind of test the waters. You know what I'm saying? But I tell everybody, comedy is like boxing. It's like beating that bag. A good comic gets a reaction or some type of laugh every 30 to 60 seconds. So when you find that pace and you find that rhythm, it's like you going for knockout. Like you going for it. You know what I'm saying? I've had that time. Actually, what? I started in June, August. I did a show at a bowling alley during a bowling contest. I had the crowd going so hard that people from the contest start coming in to see what everybody was laughing at. I was supposed to do like 5 to 10 minutes. I did a solid 20. Wasn't even the last person. I said, all right, y'all, I got to get off stage. It's like, one more joke. I'm telling you, like, it's just a great feeling. Like, you feel like when you worked out and you know you gave it all, that good feeling after you done and you know you achieved the results you wanted, that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Whew, shit. Listen. Who is so lonely? Oh, it's so lonely. Hey, I can describe it perfectly. When you bomb, okay, so look, I played 3 sports in high school, right? Volleyball, basketball, softball. I went to college for basketball. And it was my sophomore year. And we playing our rival. We down by 2. In practice, I've been hitting threes all week. But this is the crazy thing. My job in the play was just to run down the court, right? So it's like literally 4 seconds on the clock. We got to get this 3 off. My point guard couldn't get the ball to the shooter, right? So I was open, wide the fuck open, all the way down the court by myself. Perfect range for a 3. Or at least a 2 to go to overtime. My job was to run down the court. So I ran down the court. All I hear is, Edie! I turn around, the ball coming at my head. I duck. It go out of bounds. We lose. I swear. The feeling in that locker room is how it feels to bomb. Like, and mind you, I'm like the cornerstone of the team. Everybody love me. Listen, I walk in the locker room with nobody look at me, with nobody talk to me, when I'm like, I mean, it's cool. It ain't cool, bitch. Like, we could have beat our rivals and had a great, like, record for that year, and I ducked. Like, in comedy, when you bomb, it's called eating a dick. Like, damn, Eulise just went up there and ate a dick. Like, no, we. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We'll say anytime, listen, it's lonely. It's lonely and it's awkward. And especially if you bomb early and you got minutes to go, listen, that's why I tell comics, I don't care if they give you 10. If in the first 4 it ain't going well, pull that string, get all right, y'all, my name Billy. You know what I'm saying? Just don't listen. That shit is lonely. Lonely, you know, room full of people. I'm never comfortable. I look like it. Like, they say the best place to hide is out in the open. So I always look better than how I feel on the inside. So I could be killing it. And I'm still nervous. I get off stage, I'm like, damn, I forgot a joke. Like, I'm highly critical of myself. Like, I got that perfectionist kind of complex. Because it can be good. Y'all can enjoy it. But I still feel like I could have did better. So yeah, I'm never comfortable. Like I said, comedy is like boxing. Like, you got to get that rhythm, and you have to be very aware. You got to be able to read that room. Like, I know it's a lot of comics out there that's, you know, doing a thing and everything like that. But remember who you talking to. You know what I'm saying? Don't be up here talking about Lil Durk to a 50 and older crowd. They don't know who that motherfucker is. You know what I'm saying? And then one of my biggest pet peeves with comics is like when they say, fuck you, that was funny. Like, what? Obviously it wasn't. Like, and, you know, with this whole podcast movement, you know, you got to know the difference between wanting to be right and want to make people laugh. Like, there's no funny in being right. There isn't. Actually, you get more laughs off of lying. So yeah, just like knowing who you talking to, being able to engage, not being split in the room, whatever. Go up there talking about dicks to older people, like this, something that's comfortable. Talking about people in the crowd, like that, all that stuff is hacky. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you talking about people because your jokes ain't hitting? And then a big old myth is, I don't want to come to your show because I don't want nobody to talk about me. Girl, listen. I ain't never not once said, man, I hope so and so show up because all these jokes is for her. Like, I know nobody goes into a daggone show hoping to talk about somebody. That's a big ass myth. A friend of mine, Silka Hilton, had asked me to be a guest with her because it was supposed to be like a men's versus women's perspective that particular podcast. And from there, like honestly, I just remember going back and forth with Dev, like, and it was so crazy because I wasn't aware that he usually kind of like bullies people in conversation. And I wasn't backing down. And it was a couple times to where when I said what I said, I could see it resonate. And it was like, okay. And it was like I was peeling back layers of his perspective, giving him like literally the opposite side. And his face expression just showed me that was valid. And brainstorm. Brainstorm was just like in the middle, like, okay, all right. And Playboy, his calm, cool, and collected ass. It was just like a great show. It was a great conversation, and I've always indulged in great conversations, like from my father. You know what I'm saying? So when you can actually have an open, honest, and transparent conversation with people without it being, and it was just like a great pod. Like, and that was like one of my first podcasts that I was like, I gotta do this again. And I think I remember standing up at the end and saying, you better have me back. And so the second time I sat down, with just the boys, again, it was just like effortless conversation. And I think we did like a nice time, like an hour and a half or something like that, whatever, like easy. And it went by so fast. And I just knew I just wanted to be a part. When I tell you, like, no lie, like, I know we like say a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of funny stuff, whatever, but like a lot of stuff didn't just like hit home. As like, in a way, I grew up with all girls. I just had my dad, so it was like having the perspective of older brothers. You know what I'm saying? To actually like be able to pour into you and give you things that at 17, when I lost my father, was able to be applicable at 35, 33, 34. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been around a little minute. But I'm 35. But but no, I've learned a lot. Like with Dev, little does he know. We never talked about this, but from Dev, I've learned, kind of how to maneuver with men. You know what I'm saying? Just the inner workings of how men view women and their interpretation of our actions and conversations and just stuff like that. Oh my God. Now we may not agree, and some things that I say or whatever is just like taboo or foreign to him, but I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just even I love like what he say every podcast from his dad. Do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you like it or not. That's so vital in life. Like just in life, like if you literally applied that to every situation, shit, sick. Brainstorm what you say at the end of every podcast. Live your life to your best of your motherfucking ability. Like we are literally functioning at the highest level of our consciousness in most situations. So you cannot, fault people for how they maneuver with you, because you can't expect you from everybody. Like your siblings ain't even you, and y'all was in the same household. You know what I'm saying? Like real love, not that synthetic, not that impossible or beyond meat, like just not plant based. Man, what does love mean to me? Man, love is love. Real love is unconditional through the ugly, the great, the bad, like the indifferent. Like love is what keeps situations going. Friends, family, personal business. When you love somebody, it doesn't matter. Or when you love anything, it doesn't matter what may happen between the start and the end. You make things happen. You make stuff shake. Love is commitment. Love is commitment.